There were over 2,000 public interactions. That means people engaging in the survey or coming to an online workshop. It was a challenge to bring such detailed technical information to the community, but I think that was successful. What we heard through those workshops, I'll just go through each scenario and give the highlights. Scenario 1, the status quo, or continuing in the way the forest is currently managed. Many participants were concerned that harvesting would worsen the impacts of climate change. There were some participants who wanted to see more information about the financial and the employment implications if the municipality did move away from that scenario. Scenario 2, reduced harvesting. This was sort of the middle of the road one where there was some reduction of harvesting and some increase in conservation, appreciation of the current forest management practices, the potential for, okay, well, if you do continue to do some harvesting, maybe there's an opportunity to bring that timber and use it locally. Scenario 3, the active conservation, was by far the strongest scenario in the workshops. In particular, I want to just highlight the importance of ecological health of the forest, and I think that came out strongly that was the why people were gravitating towards that scenario. Scenario 4, passive conservation. This was the far end of the spectrum where it would basically be a hands-off, more or less hands-off situation. The opportunity to sell carbon credits, promoting ecotourism. Some comments also indicated the rights of nature. Well, we've done enough. We should just let the forest heal and sort of just take a step back. So as you can see, active conservation was the preferred scenario for the most people. And then in terms of people who picked the status quo as their number 4 choice, that was also the most commonly chosen as number 4. Many participants, I think most people that we talked to or that answered the survey just highlighted that ecological values were a high priority.
But before any members of council comment, just want to stress that we're here this evening to receive the report on the round 2 public engagement. We're not debating the scenarios. We're going to have an opportunity for that coming up within the next couple months, but this is not the night for it.
What would you say we should conclude from that?
I think the best test of that is the statistically valid survey. I was really curious to see if that would actually match what we had heard.
But there was nobody from UBC to actually answer the technical questions, especially on revenue projections. I think that was a pitfall, actually, in that, because nobody really understands how the carbon credits are going to work. I don't know if it's even tested widely around the world or even in Canada here. And I've heard this from others in the community also, that the revenue projections were skewed towards carbon credits and not using the actual revenue potential targets for harvesting.
And it looks like the carbon credit pricing for voluntary carbon credit is sitting at $9.60 right now, where I think we showed $25 in the UBC study. So I think that was quite curious to me.
Money so much isn't, be it a carbon credit or a harvesting number. It seems it's the ecological value. Actually, the data you got back is more about the watershed and ecological values.
With regards to carbon offsets, we did hear receive some public feedback leading up to the closure of the survey about some debate around the carbon revenue numbers. Looking at the breakdown you provided here, however, when you look at the rationale given for selecting scenarios 3 and 4, like it appears only a handful of people actually cite the carbon revenue as a reason for selecting one of those scenarios. I wonder if you could comment on that.
Thank you for the question, Mayor Douglas. I would concur. Like the reason why people chose that scenario 3 was because of the ecosystem benefits and forest health and the importance of encouraging old growth forest development in the Municipal Forest Reserve.
No? All right. Well, thanks again, Mr. Luck, for this presentation, again, for all your work in supporting us throughout this engagement process.